Hi, my name is Mark Hundley, and this is Live at 5 for a Tuesday afternoon. And I welcome you who are joining me either live or later, as the case may be. This is live Central Daylight Time. I know I have folks periodically listen from various time zones, so it's always live at 5 Central Daylight Time, which is my time zone. So I really appreciate you sharing and coming in with me. I talked to you a little bit yesterday, and I said that I would probably begin a new series, and I have a whole bunch of material that I've written over the last 12 years, and so I have a lot to draw from. And part of what I do is work to rework some of this information, make it useful and usable for today. And I want to start with this series, things that inspire me, and there are a lot of things that inspire me in this world, but things that inspire me. And today's episode is on holding on. We are in the middle of some pretty difficult times, and finding things that inspire us to help us keep moving forward, I think is really, really important. So I'm going to do a little of both. I'm going to read some of the prepared statements, and I'm going to pause and segue a little bit and share a little bit from my heart, from my experience. Holding on to life can be difficult at times. We as human beings routinely find ourselves inundated by challenges on all fronts. Often, some among our vast number let go and give up or leave us. When that happens, I am deeply, deeply saddened. I venture to say that all of us, from time to time, flirt with the idea of letting go, of disappearing from this rock on which we live. The darkness through which we walk that causes this flirtation with self-destruction is often relentless. Now, I'm going to pause and share a little bit from my life. When I was 15, that was a long time ago. When I was 15, I found myself in a pretty dark place. I was in a place socially and educationally that I'd never been before. It was a great place to be. I had lots of friends. I was in supportive environments. I was well liked. At least I felt like I was well liked. But I was going through something as a youngster, as a young teenager, that at that time was really a kind of almost not a death sentence in one sense, but it was a death sentence to family, and it was a divorce. My parents, and it was particularly difficult because I was a preacher's kid. It was my dad was a preacher, and so it was almost a disease that became a family thing. And even though the parents were going through the divorce, the children were often marked as there's children of divorce. I didn't talk much about what was going on. I had friends who loved me, who cared for me, who supported me, but I really found myself in some dark places during those days. And I remember it was the fall of my sophomore year in high school. I was 15 years old, and although I had not seen my dad for more than 20 minutes in several months before that, I found out that the divorce was final, and I was in a dark place. I was just in a sad place, and I found myself alone at home late one afternoon, and I remember hearing that my mother had secured a small 22 pistol that she had around the house that she wanted to use for protection of the home in case something were to happen. And so I dug around in the closet where her purses were, and I found that pistol, and I pulled it out and stuck it in my hand and just held it for a long time. And I remember the thoughts going through my brain. You hurt a lot, and it wouldn't take much. It wouldn't take much if you just use this to end the pain. And I thought about it a lot. But then there was a chill that ran down my spine, and I said, "No, I can't do this. This is not good." So I put it back, and it scared me to death to think what I might have done. I think about that a lot through the years, and as I work with people as a therapist now, I've come to better understand the forces that push us toward the precipice of unwavering despair. I get that. I've worked with many who are survivors of loved ones having taken their life. I work with lots of people, lots of adults, and a lot of adolescents who contemplate this, who struggle through this despair. There are no easy answers, folks. There just aren't. even though there are signs and indications that we have published, that we read, that one is contemplating death by suicide, there are often no readily available signs that one among us is considering suicide. Very often when it happens, we are taken by surprise. Back in 2017, the CDC put out a few, well, not just a few, but a number of statistics related to death by suicide. And I just want to share with you some from that report 3 years ago. Back then, suicide was, and it's probably not changed that much, suicide was the 10th leading cause of death overall in the United States, claiming the lives of over 47,000 people, death by suicide. Suicide was the second leading cause of death among individuals between ages 10 and 34, and the fourth leading cause of death among individuals between ages 35 and 54. There were more than twice as many, get this, more than twice as many suicides, about 47,173 in the United States that year than there were homicides, 19,510. As we contemplate what we can do when in this attempt to hold on when life gets tough, there are some steps that we can take, that all of us who are caring, loving human beings can take. One of those is we can ask. Very often, we tell students at school, if you have somebody that you're worried about, ask them. We tell teachers this all the time. If you have someone you're worried about, ask them if they're thinking about hurting themselves, about self-harm or suicide. Because by asking, you don't place or plant the thought in their brain. The thought may already be there. But when you ask, you give them permission to talk about those things that are buried deep inside them. If there's an indication that they might be flirting with self-harm, keep them safe. Stay with them. Don't abandon them. Make a call. Reach out to someone who can be useful and helpful to them, but keep them safe. Be there for them. Be there non-judgmentally. Let them know that you care, that you love them, that you're not there just in the moment, but you're there for the long haul. Help them connect. Help them connect with resources that can help them, whether it's parents or whether it's a suicide crisis hotline or whether it's a therapist. Help them connect with people. If you don't know who to connect with, reach out. Google search. Call a friend. Call your doctor. Call your teacher. Ask someone to help you find a resource. And then stay connected. Stay connected for the long haul. Thoughts of self-harm is not a disease. It's not contagious. Life is what we live, and we all flirt with at one time or another, either whether it's a fleeting thought or not. We all flirt with what it would be like to be gone, to be away from the thoughts and the feelings and the pain that we often encourage our experience. Finding words of hope and encouragement to embrace as our own when we're facing things, or to share with others, can help bridge the gap between letting go and holding on, and there is a gap that can be bridged. As a result, I regularly look for words to add to my personal collection, to add to for my self-talk, but also to share with others. And recently, I found a traditional Pueblo blessing from the Native American Southwest that I want to share with you. It's a blessing that comes from the Pueblo people. I'm hopeful that you will find it as useful as I have. I'm hopeful that it will help you and others with whom you interact hold on. The blessing goes like this. Hold on to what is good, even if it is a handful of earth. Hold on to what you believe, even if it is a tree that stands by itself. Hold on to what you must do, even if it is a long way from here. Hold on to life, even if it seems easier to let go. Hold on to my hand, even if I have gone away from you. I'm hopeful that the next time you find yourself tempted by the allure of letting go, you will read this blessing and allow it to be motivation for holding on. Thank you for holding on with me, hanging with me this afternoon. Thank you for being there for people who need you, because we all need one another. I look forward to talking with you again tomorrow. Peace.